Hello, fourth grade friends, and welcome to day 2 of rounding. So today we're going to be doing pages 37 and 38 together, and then you will be doing page 40 on your own. We're going to be skipping page 39 for today. So you're doing 37 and 38 with me, and then 40 on your own. And then once you're done with page 40, you can either show me live on Google Meet or on Seesaw. So let's get started. Let's figure out why this is shaking, and we're good to go. So, last year, Tonka Toys spent $117,290 developing a new video game. Mia rounds the amount spent to the nearest 10,000. John rounds the amount spent to the nearest 1,000. So what amount do Mia and John round to? So I'm going to first split my paper into two parts because we have Mia and how she's rounding. And then we have John and how he's deciding to round. So what I want you to do is set up your paper like mine and then try this out on your own before you check in here. So you're trying this out, you're pausing here, trying this out on your own. Mia is rounding to the nearest 10,000, and I'm just going to write that up here so I don't forget. And then John is rounding to the nearest 1,000. So try on your own and then join us here to see how you did. So welcome back. Now let's get rounding. So we have this number. We have 117,290. And Mia is rounding to the nearest 10,000. So she wants to round to this number. But that means she needs to look to the right in the thousands for this one. And just like yesterday, we have the same rules. If the number to the right is 5 or more, we round up. And if it's 4 or less, we stay where we are. So in this instance, we have a 1 in the 10,000s and a 7 in the thousands, which means we're going to bump this 1 up. This 1 is going to go up to a 2 because this 7 is 5 or more. So that means we're going to have $120,000 because remember, whatever number we are rounding to, every number to the right of that place value turns into a 0. So Mia rounds the amount spent to $120,000. Now, if you see, this one, we didn't make a place value chart just because we want to see different ways to solve the problem. So for this one, we didn't use a place value chart, but for this one, we are going to, just to show that there's more than one way to get the answer. So we're still dealing with the same number, so we're going to need a ones, a tens, a hundreds, a thousands, a 10,000s, and a 100,000s. So we have 100,000s, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So I'm just going to carry this number down. So we have 117,290. And for John, he is rounding to the nearest 1,000. So that means we need to look to the right of that place value in the hundreds. And this number is it 5 or more or 4 or less? And we can see 2 is obviously less than 4. So this number, this 7 in the thousands place, will stay the same. So it becomes 117,000. And then everything to the right becomes a 0. So we're going to leave it at $117,000. So John rounds the amount spent to $117,000. So you can see that these two rounded to two different values, but it's just because they're rounding to a different place value. So they're still working with the same number, they're still doing it completely correct, they're just rounding to different place values. So that is okay to happen. It's okay to have the same number and be able to round it to two different numbers. So if you have any questions on this, please join our Google Meet and I'll be happy to go over anything with you. If you don't have any questions, we are good to move on. So 38 is just basically exploring the different ways to go about solving the problem on page 37. So one way we could do is use the number line like we did yesterday. So to find the closest 10,000s that are less than 117,290 and greater than 117,290. So for this one, they made a number line with 110,000, 115,000, and then 120,000. They did it in 5,000 increments. So then they were able to look, and they knew that 117,290 was more between 115,000 and 120,000. And they knew that it was almost in the middle, but not quite. So they placed it here, and they were able to say 117,290 is between 110,000 and 120,000. To be more specific, you could also say it's between 115,000 and 120,000. Again, the number line gets a little tricky just because of all the extra markings and everything. But if it works for you, that's great. If one of these other strategies works better, that is also okay. So we also have a place value chart down here like we did together for John. So just for this one, they did each place value. So they did it for Mia and John, and then they had the rounding in the bottom. So they found the closest thousand still between 117,290, and then it had to be less than that and greater than 117,290. So they were looking for that in between piece, and they were able to pull out that 117,290 has 7 thousands, so it's between 117,000 and 118,000. That's also what we could have pulled out from the number line up here. But again, this is just showing you different ways. Obviously, we can see that the place value chart makes it a little easier to pull out each place value, because then they continue to pull out and said there are 10 hundreds in each thousand. Halfway between 0 hundreds and 10 hundreds is 5 hundreds. So this number has 2 hundreds. So it was easier for them to just kind of pull out the different place values. Again, it's whatever is easiest for you. If the number line is working, keep doing it. If you rather would stick with the place value, then you're good to go with that as well, okay? So again, if you have any questions on page 37, the Tonka Toys problem, then please join our Google Meet. If not, you need to complete page 40 on your own and then show me on either Google Meet or on Seesaw. So again, if you have any questions at all, please jump in. If not, I can't wait to see your page 40 and see how you do. I'm always here if you need help or have any questions, so make sure you use me while I'm here. And I can't wait to see you guys later.